We have two benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, and if you want to make the most of the positive of each of those planets, it makes good sense to keep an eye on them. Welcome to my channel. I'm Charlotte Westerheim and this is my channel Dancing Astrologer. Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is Venus. And Venus will enter into Aquarius tomorrow on the 18th of January 2026. And it will stay there until the 11th of February. So again, this is a short little window. We have to make the most of the benefits from Venus in Aquarius. So let's talk a little bit about what is Venus representing. So Venus, of course, is how we love, how we attract, how we harmonize, how we create pleasure in life. And this is about money, it's about values, it's about value system, like our own value, how we value ourselves, how we value materialistic things, but also relationships and anything that makes life feel good. And so the archetype of Venus is, of course, it's about attraction, it's about loving, it's about different kind of love, not just romantic love, but love where we say yes to life. So this is about, again, it's highlighting where in the chart you have the possibility of focus a bit on love and harmony, pleasure, values, what you enjoy. So now that Venus is entering into Aquarius, it will take a bit the color of that sign. So traditionally, of course, in the natural horoscope, Venus is the ruler of Taurus and of Libra. And so this means this is where it's at home and where it has the most easy time to express all the good things that Venus represents, like love, harmony, desire, attraction, and different kind of value system, or not only our own value system, but also how we correspond to value systems of another person, or our family, our partner, our friends, and so on and so on. So what happened when Venus goes through Aquarius? It's very different from the earthy Taurus, and it's very different from the airy Libra. So Taurus is very much about the sensual senses that we have, what we love, what we eat, what we feel, what we smell, what we look at, what we harmonize around us, like our home, how we beautify our home, how we beautify ourselves. And Libra in the Libra Venus is more about relationships. It's about how we are one-on-one and what we fall in love with, what we desire, how we would like to be desired ourselves, and what value we put on relationships in terms of negotiation, in terms of compromise, in terms of creating the balance between me and you and how we give and how we receive. So when Venus is going through Aquarius, it's an air sign, and it's very different from Libra. So it's an air sign that's ruled by very different planets, by Saturn, the traditional ruler, but also Uranus, the modern ruler. So it's worth it to see in your birth chart, where are these two planets occupying? Which house are they occupying? And each of the houses, of the 12 houses, there's sometimes some confusion about the houses, but what they really represent is different area of the human experience. And this is why it's important to see where are these rulers of Aquarius placed in your natal birth chart. It's like everything blends together, everything take a flavor or some key words, some key symbolic essence from that sign and that house. So if you think about it, like Venus going through Venus, it's like a pot of paint, you know, if it's red and you have other planets, so you put some yellow, it turns into orange. So the whole idea with astrology is how the different energies, they blend. And this is how you find out how that can affect you, or what kind of experiences or feelings will come up for you. And so if you think about the air sign, the natural air sign of Libra and Venus, how they mix together. So here it's a lot about closeness and understanding the other person, of giving each other the voice and listening and finding that compromise so there's room for both of us. But when it comes into Aquarius, there is a lot of a different need for, yes, closeness for sure. Relationships are important, and friendships are important, and love is important, of course. But there is also this need to do it in a different way, to do it in your own unique way. And this means maybe you want closeness, but there has to be a balance between freedom. That's a big word for Aquarius. Freedom and independence. So there's always this, if you have, for example, Venus natally in Aquarius, there might be this need for you to, yes, have the close relationship, but at the same time, you need to maybe have a lot of freedom to do your own thing. So not the traditional relationship where each weekend, okay, what are we doing together? We are a couple, we are going to the same dinners, the same activities. If you have a very strong presence of Aquarius in your natal birth chart, you might really need to maybe live alone, need to do your own thing in the weekend, especially with friends. Friends are very, very important if you, for example, have Venus in Aquarius natally. But also, it's funny how we sometimes fall in love with a person who is not available, who's already in a relationship. That way you can have the distance and also the closeness. Or you fall in love with somebody who is living abroad, so you can only see each other at certain times of the year, and that becomes very loaded with passion, and it becomes like such a highlight, but you don't do the daily humdrum that we all have to go through. So there are different ways of expressing that Aquarius energy with Venus. And now that Venus is going through Aquarius, I would say grab your birth chart and see where is Aquarius in your birth chart, in which house is it placed. And here I use whole sign houses because it becomes a lot clearer when you look at the all-important ruler placement. So as Venus is going through Aquarius, and depending on which area of your chart, which sort of, let's say that it's your second house. You have Aquarius in your second house, and Venus is right now going through that. So what is likely to happen for you is your value system around yourself, around how you see yourself. Maybe you need to liberate those views of how you see yourself, in case they are somehow limiting of, I cannot do that, or I'm not good enough to do this or to approach that. So you put a small little bomb of Aquarius liberation and freedom energy into that area of your chart, and you try and see yourself in a different light. Who says I can't do this? Who says I should limit myself to that? And also in terms of money, how are you spending your money? How are you accumulating money? Are you good at saving? Do you spend the money as soon as you receive them? What kind of values would you have around yourself? What would you like to surround yourself with in terms of, in your immediate environment? So, and then you take a look at where is Saturn, the traditional ruler of Aquarius, and where is Uranus, the modern ruler of Aquarius. Where are they placed in your birth chart? That will give you some flavor and some keywords about what might be mixed in for you personally when this area of your chart is activated. Let's say you have Aquarius in your fourth house of family and roots and inheritance and who we are and where we come from. And already if you have Aquarius in your fourth house, maybe your family is quite unique. Well, everybody's family is unique, but there is something unique and different about your family. Maybe you even feel like an alien in your family, where you are the odd one out, or you feel that your family is so different from you that you don't really fit in. So with Venus going through that area of your chart, this is maybe the time to take a look at what connects us. Where do we have some similarities? Where can we understand each other? Where do we maybe have the same value system? Or whatever it is, it's like I see it like a Venus coming in with a soft wind of harmony and, let it be, or somehow things that can seem crash and, oh, we are too different. It's just have a tendency to harmonize a little bit and see where do you have points of reference, where do you have points of understanding each other. So let's say you have Aquarius on your this 7th house descending sign, which will say a lot about what kind of partner you're looking for, because that means you will have Leo on your ascending sign. So as a Leo, you would want to shine, and you would like to sometimes be noted and validated for something special that you offer. But you might be attracted to a more Aquarius type of person, with a little bit more liberated from that, and seeing a little bit the bigger picture. And we're all special, but in a different way. So you might look to that Aquarius type person as your partner, but really it is also the same qualities you have in yourself. So if you have the Aquarius on your 7th house, you might be somebody who needs a lot of freedom in relationships, meaning not necessarily living together, not necessarily doing everything together, but also have a lot of freedom and autonomy to be yourself and spend time with other people. And especially if you have Aquarius in the 7th house, there's often, I've noticed that sometimes there's a long distance relationship, but people really have found another way of having that closeness. So maybe a lot of your interaction is through a screen, because Aquarius is about technology as well, and how we connect through astrology. So if you have a long distance relationship, the way you relate and connect might be a lot of the time through Zoom, where you see each other and talk to each other and you connect that way. And who's to say that that is not a great way for you? And also you might have a lifestyle where you are both very busy, and one has a night shift and one has a day shift, and you're two, ships meeting in the night, whatever. There might be a different way of having a relationship. We can still be close, but with big respect to each other's autonomy and freedom and liberation within the relationship. And so, of course, if Aquarius is on your 10th house, you might want to see how you can harmonize a little bit things at work. Let's say you have a troublesome boss, and you've been thinking that for a while, and feeling that you're getting a little bit provoked by the leadership style or lack thereof sometimes. And this is a chance to go back and see how can I perhaps understand my boss a little better. That's always a good starting point, because we can get all very riled up when we feel that we are not understood or appreciated at work, for example. But with Venus there, you might see with a little bit of more compromising eyes and see, okay, where's the boss coming from? Maybe they have a lot of responsibility. Maybe I could be less judgmental, whatever it might be. And let's not forget, already on the 23rd, Venus will run into a conjunction with Pluto. It doesn't mean that the two planets will be on top of each other, because really Pluto is the farthest away in the solar system. What it means is they are on the same longitude. It means that they are both going to be 3 degrees in Aquarius from a distance, but still they are activated together in the same longitude. So what that might mean, Pluto is always about bringing things to our awareness, about becoming conscious of something. And when it's love and Pluto, is becoming conscious of something that relates to love. So this might be bringing up old hurt, for example, that you have buried or put to the side because you don't know how to deal with it, or you even forgot about it, or you didn't realize how much it still hurt you. So when the two planets come together, this is a good time to actually try and heal that. First, to become aware of it, which is very Pluto-like, and then to see how can I transform it. Pluto's philosophy is nothing goes away. Everything has to be transformed. So how can you transform maybe old hurt that has to do with love or love relationships? So this is happening in a few days around 23rd, 24th, and then you're moving forward with a new knowledge and a new understanding of yourself in the area of love. Maybe how you would like to be loved, how you might be reminded of past relationship, because Pluto also has to do with control and jealousy and power play in a relationship. So maybe something will just rear its head for a little while, that you become aware that that pattern is something I have contributed to, or I have lived it and I don't want it anymore, or I will find a better balance, whatever it is. So with Venus, since it's such a fast moving planet, when it goes through these signs, which is like 3 to 4 weeks normally, and if there's a retrograde, it can take 3-4 months. But what is important to realize here is this not the big earth-shattering changes in your life. It's just that day-to-day, more harmony, more love focus in that area of your chart. And why not make the most of it and benefit from Venus, what it brings in, and to see how can I loosen up a little bit? How can I enjoy a little bit more of my life, especially in those areas of that is highlighted for you, whether it's friendship, whether it's self-love, whether it's one-on-one relationship, maybe it's with co-workers, with your kids, with your parents, with your family, anything that can sort of enhance that enjoyment and where love plays an important role for us. So enjoy Venus in Aquarius, and thank you so much for watching. And if you want to have a look at especially your own chart, what house Venus is passing through, what kind of aspects it's making in your birth chart, feel free to click on the link to dancingastrologer.com, and I'd be very happy to look at your chart together with you and see what we can discover about your love language, about your love history, and so on and so on. So again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.